Imagine waking up to a letter. Just 3 words handwritten. Meet me tomorrow. No return address. No clue who sent it. And suddenly your whole life feels uncertain. Before we dive in, tell me, where are you watching this story from? Comment down below. I love knowing where my friends are joining me from. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you never miss stories like this one. Now take a deep breath, because this story is not just about fear. It's about choices, dignity, and the moments that test us in ways we never expected. And trust me, you'll want to hear every single word of this. Emily sat on the edge of her small bed, staring out at the early morning sunlight filtering through the blinds. The apartment was quiet, except for the soft purring of Whiskers, her fluffy gray cat, curled up beside her. The aroma of fresh coffee drifted from the kitchen, her Sunday morning ritual. She glanced at her laptop, scattered sketches and unfinished designs staring back at her. Life had been routine. Work emails, deadlines, a few friends she spoke to over text, and the silent ache of being misunderstood by people she once trusted. Her phone buzzed, a notification from her younger brother, Jake, asking if she wanted to catch dinner later. She smiled faintly. Family was her anchor, even when distance made it complicated. Then there it was, a small cream-colored envelope slid under her apartment door. No return address. Just her name handwritten neatly. Curiosity and unease twisted in her stomach as she picked it up. Inside, a single line read, "Meet me tomorrow." Emily stared at the words, heart quickening. Who could this be? An old friend? Someone from her past? She couldn't tell. All she knew was, she had to decide what to do. Whiskers meowed softly, nudging her hand as if sensing her unease. Emily laughed quietly. Even you don't know, huh, Whiskers? She sat back, sipping her coffee, and thought of the choices she had to make. Her life had always been careful, measured, predictable. And now, unpredictability had knocked on her door. What would you do if a letter like this came for you? Comment below, would you go or stay? Emily couldn't stop thinking about the letter. She paced her small living room, Whiskers trailing behind, occasionally batting at a stray pen on the floor. Each time she glanced at the envelope on the table, her chest tightened. What if it's a mistake? She whispered to herself. What if it's someone who just wants to cause trouble? Memories surfaced, moments when she had been judged unfairly. The time her old boss accused her of ruining a project she had spent weeks perfecting. The whispers from coworkers she thought were friends. The sting of being misunderstood, of being labeled without anyone knowing the whole truth. She sank onto the couch, hugging Whiskers tightly. I can't let history repeat itself, she murmured. But deep down, a tiny spark of curiosity flickered. Who was behind this mysterious message? Hours passed. Emily's mind swung between fear and intrigue. She imagined 1,000 scenarios. A long-lost friend, a family member, someone from her past. The suspense was suffocating. Finally, she made a decision. She would go. Not because she felt brave, but because she knew she couldn't live with the what-if gnawing at her. The next morning, Emily prepared carefully. She chose clothes that made her feel confident but comfortable, brushed her hair until it fell naturally around her shoulders, and double-checked her apartment for anything out of place. Even as she stepped outside, the quiet streets of her neighborhood felt strange, too silent, almost as if they were holding their breath. Whiskers watched from the window, tail flicking, eyes wide. Emily smiled faintly. Wish me luck, little one. She walked to the bus stop, the letter tucked securely in her jacket pocket. Every step was measured, every breath careful. And yet, a thrill ran through her veins, a strange mix of fear and anticipation. The cafe where she was supposed to meet the sender was small, tucked between a bookstore and a bakery. Rain began to fall lightly, pattering against the windows as if nature itself was setting the scene for what was about to unfold. Inside, Emily saw no one at first. The smell of coffee and baked goods filled the air, grounding her slightly. But then, a shadow moved in the corner of her eye. She turned slowly, heart hammering. It was him. Or maybe it wasn't what she expected at all. Her mind raced. Should she approach? Run? Pretend she hadn't seen anyone? Every instinct screamed caution, but something deeper, her sense of self, her dignity, urged her forward. Emily took a deep breath. I can do this, she whispered. I will not let fear define me. What would you do in her place? Would you confront the unknown? Or walk away? Comment below. I want to know your choice. Emily's feet felt heavier with each step toward the corner of the cafe. The rain outside intensified, tapping against the windows like a countdown to something she couldn't yet see. Her heart raced and every nerve in her body screamed caution, but she refused to let fear control her. There, sitting alone at a small table by the window, was the figure from the letter. Emily froze. She couldn't see the face clearly yet, but the posture, the slight slump of the shoulders seemed familiar. Her mind spun back to memories she had tried to bury. Conversations she never finished, apologies never said, misunderstandings that had left scars. Could it really be him? The person looked up. Emily's breath caught. It was Mark, someone she had once trusted deeply, someone who had betrayed her confidence years ago. The sight of him brought back a wave of emotions. Anger, hurt, confusion, and a strange flicker of curiosity. Emily approached cautiously. Every step felt like walking a tightrope over an abyss. Mark stood slowly, eyes meeting hers, and for a moment nothing. Just silence, broken only by the soft hum of the cafe and the rain outside. I didn't expect you to come, Mark finally said, voice quiet, almost tentative. Emily's hands trembled slightly. I got your letter. Why now? Her voice was calm, measured, but there was fire beneath it. Mark sighed. I made mistakes. I know I hurt you. I shouldn't have, and I've spent years regretting it. I needed to see you to explain. Emily felt a whirlwind of feelings. Anger mixed with sadness, betrayal mixed with relief. She wanted to run, to leave, but something inside her urged her to stay. Not for him, but for herself. You hurt me, she said slowly. You judged me. You left me alone with my choices, and I had to survive them by myself. And now you want me to forgive you. Mark looked down, shame evident in his eyes. I don't expect forgiveness. I just needed you to hear me. Emily's mind flashed through all the times she had doubted herself, the nights she cried alone, the moments she felt weak. But now she realized something. Her dignity, her self-respect was hers and hers alone. She straightened her shoulders. I hear you. I understand. But I won't let the past control me anymore. I've learned something important. My worth isn't determined by how others treat me. It's how I choose to carry myself, even when life is unfair. Mark nodded, silently acknowledging the strength she now radiated. He had expected fear or weakness, but Emily stood unshaken, calm, collected, and proud. The rain eased outside, sunlight peeking through the clouds. Emily felt a weight lift off her chest. A mix of closure, clarity, and peace. She smiled faintly. I hope you find your own peace, Mark. But my path is mine. She turned, leaving the cafe. Every step back into the wet streets felt lighter, freer. The world hadn't changed, but she had. Emily walked home, whiskers waiting by the window, tail flicking in greeting. She hugged him tightly. We made it, little one. We're okay. What would you have done in her place? Could you walk away? Or would you have confronted him differently? Comment below. I want to hear your thoughts. Emily stepped into her apartment, shaking off the damp from the rain. Whiskers jumped onto the couch beside her, purring softly, as if sensing the relief in her heartbeat. She sank into the cushions, letting herself breathe deeply for the first time in hours. The city outside moved on, unaware of the storm she had just walked through. But inside she felt a quiet triumph. She had faced fear, confronted the past, and emerged with her dignity intact. For the first time in a long while, Emily felt truly in control of herself. She made herself a cup of tea, watching steam curl into the air. Life wasn't perfect. Never would be. People would judge, mistakes would happen, and misunderstandings would continue. But she had learned an important truth. No one can take away your self-respect unless you give it to them. Her phone buzzed. A message from her younger sister, Sarah. Dinner tonight? Mom's making your favorite. Emily smiled. Family, love, small gestures. These were the things that grounded her. These were the things that reminded her who she really was. As she sipped her tea, Emily thought back to the cafe. To Mark. To the fear she had felt. And the strength she had found. It was a moment she would never forget. A lesson she would carry forever. Life has a way of testing us. It throws people, choices, and moments in our path that challenge everything we believe about ourselves. But remember this: your dignity, your thank you for listening to this story. Before you judge anyone, including yourself, pause, reflect, and remember, everyone has a story. And sometimes the strongest people are the ones quietly walking away with their heads held high. If this story touched you, comment below where you're watching from. I love hearing from all of you. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this. I can't wait to share the next one with you. Stay strong, stay kind, and never forget your worth. Self-respect, your worth. Those are yours to protect. Always.